wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs. Have a ball. And hello and welcome on this fine day, September 11th. 2023. Of course, remember 9/11, 2001, and a very special to this group of people and to this Mountaineer nation, being as that we lost one that was really close, a brother, Chris Gray, and we'll be talking about that a little later. But start off first of all, memories to you, brother. We love you, man. We miss you very much. And other than that, it's Pit Week. And Pit Week, that means that we're going to get it rocking a little bit. And you know, I had some mixed emotions here. I got some things that I want to talk about. And, you know, it's very interesting. I was feeling very, over the weekend, you know, I was all kind of loopy. I had a cold going on, you know, taking my cough syrup, watching football all day long, waiting for the Mountaineers to come on. Mountaineers come on, and you know, it's a start, and I see good things. I see some things that I could get better, and then there's the weather delay, and oh man, I'm just going, you know, hey, keep that cough medicine coming, right, man? So we just keep going and all that good stuff. So I go ahead and I get in this mode and I start thinking about Pitt and the weather delay, and you know, I'm watching them play against Cincinnati, and boy, they just weren't doing so good. And you know, I thought about it, and you know, it's good. They're losing right now. This is good. All right, so West Virginia, Pitt, because I really want to beat Pitt. I always want to beat Pitt. Everybody wants to beat Pitt. So I go ahead, I go out there, and I'm like, all right, let's throw out the score here. So you know what? I said breaking ... Pitt still sucks on a tweet. Thinking how funny that was. You know, I think it was my syrup. I had a cough syrup going on. I'm like, oh, yes. And, you know, anyone can sit out there. Anytime you throw out a tweet with the Pitt sucks, you know, I mean, that's like, you know, giving it out the easiest tweet in the world. I mean, for a Mountaineer anyways, right? You just throw those tweets out there and likes they come piling up really, really easy. And so the funny thing is, I'm looking at him like, yeah, Pitt sucks. And all of a sudden, everybody starts liking it, right? So, I mean, it's a big hit, and it's trailing. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, I don't think that Pitt sucks. The program, okay, we're out there, that's for years. But I mean, I respect everybody that works hard over there and all those things. And then I started to remember the Pitt and what I grew up on, and what my brother Ronnie did and what I did going through the the football and then coaching against it. And, I don't like Pitt. All right. I love the Steelers. I love the city of Pittsburgh, but I don't like Pitt. And it just keeps going back. I'm like, well, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I'm mature now and I have class. Because, right now I'm really big on class. I believe that you conduct yourselves. You don't see me swearing on Twitter. You don't see me, dropping the F-bombs here or there. And I just thought to myself, it really, maybe I thought myself, maybe I was a little bit unclassy there. And to think that, maybe I did something, that I should have done a Pitt, sucks out there, or they still suck, or whatever I did there, right? Because I was still on my cough medicine. I was feeling good. I thought it was funny. And so I'm out there, I'm going, he. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of childish though, right? I mean, but then again, I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? And then I went back and I started looking at this, and this is what I saw, right? It's like, I see this right here, and what is it? Oh, that's Pat Narduzzi, the head coach. And who comes along? Well, look, it's last year's quarterback, Keaton Slavis, who's now not even at Pitt anymore. He's at BYU. USC. He did the JT Daniels thing, right? USC. Now he's here. Well, look at this. Well, what school is he at? Now he's BYU, I think so. We're going to see him again. But all of that, what does he say? He drops the F-bomb on WVU. Right there with who? Once again, Pat Narduzzi, still smiling right there. No, what's coming on? And what does he do? All right, so that I got too much class right now going on. I'm thinking, Pitt's a 4-letter word, right? No, I'm saying suck. I'm not saying the other word, right? I wouldn't do that to my mother, right? So, because she watches the show every day. I love you, Ashley. Shout out to you. All right. So now, again, I'm going to do this, and I love this interest, but this is the end of the game. And thank goodness for Hawkeye right here. And so, right there, they're taunting, they're chasing them in. Look at my man D Stills right here. They're coming out there and they're just no class, Pitt. It's that same old Pitt. I tried to go there. I tried to be above. I tried to take the high road. But guess what? There is no high road with Pitt. It's a 4-letter word, and that's what they are. So you know what? My tweet that ... breaking ... Pitt still sucks. Yes, Pitt still sucks. Sorry, Mama. You know how much I love you. And with that, I'm going to introduce the Fabulous Five panel. And we're going to start off here with Darryl Prue, my WVU Hall of Fame hooper, who tells me everything I need to know about WVU hoops and a lot of coaching in general. What's up, DP?
What's up, Dale? How you doing?
Did you like that
man?
intro?
Yeah, I loved it. Does
Pitt still suck?
Yes, they do.
All right, thank you very much. All right, and next, I'm not sure I'm going to get the answer out of this one. Frank Fear, historian, author, man of class right here, who I don't know what he's going to say. Hello, Mr. Fear.
Hey, how you doing today, Wolf? Hey, you have class. I used to have class when I taught.
All right. He's going to teach us today some as well. So we're back in the classroom. And I said, look at this. I'm looking. I see an empty desk over here by this one guy. I'm going to come back to him. So we'll go ahead and we go to our Mr. Mountaineer Nation, the dude that watches the Mountaineers all his life. What's up, Hawkeye? Keith Hawkins.
What's up, guys? Doing good.
All right. Hey, does Pitt suck or not?
Absolutely, Pitt sucks.
All right, and we got a double whammy in here. All right, we have Hall of Fame USA strength coach Al Johnson. Coach Johnson, what's up?
What's going on, man? Hey, well, how do you really feel about Pitt? Could you really express your feelings?
I'm telling you.
Get mixed signals here.
You know what, Coach? I sat there, I felt like such a child, and then I go back, and then all these people are hating on me and coming and saying about how I'm a Mountaineer and how I married my cousin and all these things. And my brother is my sister and all that, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So I'm just like, you know what? Forget the class, baby. I'm taking the low road. I'm going just for this week now. Just for this week. Still not dropping no F-bombs because Mom is watching. All right, there's no doubt about it. But I am going to say the suck word for sure. And with that, I'm going to bring on a guy who thinks he's classy, who thinks he's like GQ, man. And that's going to be former Mountaineer linebacker Lee Javins, attorney right now. What's up, Lee?
What's going on, guys? How you all doing?
We're doing great.
Good, very good. Thank you.
You know what? I go to look and introduce you, and you're gone. All I see is a empty seat. Again, you keep doing things to me.
I'm sorry. I had to take. It was a call I had to take. Sorry about that, but it's all good.
You can always cut your audio off so we can't hear your conversation. Just so you know.
Yeah, well, that would have made for a weird intro if I'm talking on the phone when you introduce me. So,
all right, very good, very good. All right, gentlemen, you know what, Frank? I'm going to go with you because you're the prettiest of us. So let's go ahead and tell me what you thought Saturday.
Well, it was a tale of two cities, right?
Yep.
Before the storm and after the storm, literally. I'm not the only one who was nervous. 14-10, I'm saying, oh my God, what's going on here? They didn't look good, but when you look at the entire spectrum of the game, they came back. They played with a lot of intensity and it took Duquesne out of their game. And I looked at the stats. They're very impressive. 600 yards, over 600 yards compared to 300 against Penn State. And they kept Duquesne to 3 yards rushing. And one of the things I looked at very closely was the play of that offensive line, and particularly the pass blocking. And very pleasantly surprised when Pro Football Focus essentially graded them out really well. In fact, the pass blocking got a higher grade than the rush blocking, both very high. So I was very, very pleased. So we had to get the win. We had to win big. We did. I watched the Pitt game, especially during the rainout, and wow, boy, they just Cincinnati just took it to them. So we're ready for Saturday.
Yeah, they did come back though. I got nervous there. That the cough medicine started to wear off when I saw them coming back. I wasn't so giddy. That's for sure. All right, Lee Javins, man, what's your take there? You went up to Penn State. I tried to have you on last week. You had a issue come up with you. I hope that worked out well for you. But now we're the family. But what did you see now from Penn State? Going there. Obviously, the talent's way different. But you know what football is.
Yeah. So my takeaway from the Penn State game, being there live and in person, was our team played with great effort. There's no doubt about it. Of course, it's the first game of the year. It's Penn State. It's pretty easy to get up for a game like that. And so it was a great effort. But at the end of the day, they did what Penn State do to a lot of people, and that is they wore us out a bit. I mean, that was obvious. And they got some dudes. And great effort is wonderful, but great effort when you have dudes, especially in the trenches on the D-line and other places, it's even better. So great effort will only get you so far, and you got to have some dudes. And so that was my takeaway.
All right.
But I do think it was great effort. But and then you go ahead one week, and I think Neil said it, Coach Brown. There's only 12 games. You got to get up for it every week, and it disappointed me that it looked like they came out a tad flat. But that's just my takeaway. But great effort at Penn State.
So, hey, Coach Hale, you've been through rain delays before. You saw, as Frank said, a tale of two cities or a tale of two halves, whatever you want to call it. The first came out before the weather delay. You know, they did some good stuff. I watched film. They still did some good stuff, but you know, the Dukes came out to play. It was their shot. They took a shot, you know, and they got us. And there's things the Mountaineers got to correct. But what did you think of that? Them coming out way more fired up than when they came out the first time, the second time.
Well, they didn't have anything to lose, first and foremost. They didn't have anything to lose at all. I mean, you're going to a game against an FBS school such as the Mountaineers. And I think, you know, truth be known, I mean, no one in the locker room would admit for WVU that really that, you know, you press so much with about Pitt the next week. And I'm sure, you know, I mean, as we know, I mean, there's things that in the game plan that haven't been shown yet that you're going to see this week against Pitt that have been saved for Pitt. But, you know, I think it took care of business. I mean, if you looked, I mean, we had a balanced offense. We ran the ball well. We threw the ball. You know, the thing I liked was we had a little bit of a vertical passing game. I mean, there was a passing game there. But, you know, it's tough. And then, like you said, rain delays. I mean, you don't know what's going to come out after the rain delay. I mean, are they going to be flat? Are they going to be lethargic? Are they going to just like, you know, are they going to let's just get this thing over with type thing? Because we were up, 35-10 at halftime. You know, I don't think there was ever any doubt that, you know, what the outcome would be.
No, I don't think there's any doubt. Honestly, I really didn't believe that. But, you know, let's go with you, Hawkeye. Did you have any doubt when it was, you know, let's just say this. It was 14-7, and they scored a touchdown. I'm saying the Dukes did, but it was past offensive interference, and they kicked the field goal. Were you concerned then?
Well, let me start off being honest. I did not get to watch the first half of the game, and had to listen to the second half on the radio. So I had all I seen was some highlights. So when I tuned in, we were up. I didn't know how close the game was early till later that night. So if I'd have known the score at that time, yeah, I would have been nervous.
All right, we're just going to pass right on over that one then, because
I'm just being honest, Dale.
I really don't care what you thought now about it. DP, I'm going to ask you the same questions, Hawkeye. Well, what do you say?
I mean, you know, when you come off a game like Penn State, you know, your emotions are way above the building. You come against Duquesne, and next week you got Pitt. You got to figure that balance out. You know, of course, Duquesne was going to come in and try to, you know, play their hardest. You have to sustain it. If you sustain it and get back to your level during the game, I thought they was going to be fine. Probably the rain delay probably helped them out more than anything else to get them cussed back out really quick, get them refocused.
Yeah, you know, I always thought the rain delays, it was always easier when you're home yourself, when you're at your home field, when it was your locker. You know, you can chill out there. And when you're at a visitor's locker, like let's just say we were at Pitt's back in the day up on the hill. When Pitt,
could be in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 guys sharing a locker, and I'm talking 3 offensive linemen there. You know what I mean? Apparently, we could fit our shoulder pads in the thing. And so anytime that you could have a weather delay and you're at home, I think it's better. I think it's easier. But I will say this, you have a young team in WVU, and I like the way that they responded in that second half. I am not surprised that they came out a little bit flat in the first half, the first beginning, because all summer long they've been preparing for Penn State. All summer long they've been saying, hey, you know what? Apparently we suck. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to fight these guys and show everybody that we don't. And so, with all that, that's a huge. And they showed up for the moment, and they played in the moment. They played hard in the moment, and they did good things. So to come off that, and then I'm not going to call it a short week, but boy, this flew by fast. And then you have the Dukes there. It's human emotion, man. It's just who we are. We forget sometimes, Lee Javins, that these kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. And you're an old dude now, all right? But you were once there, and I saw your face out there on the football field, and you know you can associate with what they're experiencing.
Well, if you recall, Dale, I remember this well. Coach Neal and Coach Al, you'll remember this too. It's before Virginia Tech was Virginia Tech, before Beamer turned it all around. I remember Coach Neal once saying to us, guys, you know, as we're preparing, these guys hate you as much as you hate Penn State. Take these guys seriously. And so, it happens. It happens. And we're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Absolutely.
This happens in all sports, really. You know what I mean? Like every sport, you're going to have them peaks and valleys. And it was just one of those things where they had to get waking up. And, they did a good job of being waking. They won by 40. What else?
Yeah. Well, hey, Darryl, all right, go ahead. give us an interpretation of your experience of what game did you have get up for really big, and then all of a sudden you had to turn it around, and you knew that these guys were not quite the other team.
Well, when we went through that 22-game winning streak my senior year, we was playing Rutgers. I was watching the tape early this year. We played them, and we were in a dogfight, but we didn't panic. You know what I mean? So we stuck around. They stuck around. We ended up winning, but we had to take a loss to a Penn State when I was in the Atlantic 10 tournament that I never lost to. I never lost to Penn State, and they beat us by 20 to wake us up. You know what I mean? Then we go in and beat Tennessee the next time in the NCAA playoff and lose to Duke. But it took a game for us to get beat. You know what I mean? To figure it out, because it's the opposite of what WVU is going through right now. They're coming off a loss and trying to win. That happened too with us. My first game, we lose to Robert Morris. Then we beat Mount St. Mary's. Then we lose to Bradley. Then we had to start against Maryland or Pitt. So we had to, wake up right away. You know what I mean? So those things happen. So it depends on, like you said, it's human emotion. We are kids. We got to figure it out. We're nervous. We instead of playing to win, we plan not to lose. And that's, I think West Virginia has to get out of that little process.
Frank, at any of your time, have you experienced anything like this watching this? You've seen a lot of football teams. Have you seen this where the teams, have to stand up, have a big game, and then, that next game, and really it was a trap game. I don't care what anybody says. You got Penn State, Pitt, and then you got Dukes in the middle. I'm telling you, that's tough, man.
Yeah, it happens all the time, and that's why I was nervous when it was 14-10. And it could have been 14-14. Had they scored that touchdown and not had that penalty, that could have turned that game around. I was very impressed early on with Duquesne, well coached. They have good talent. You could tell they did what they could. And so, but then once West Virginia found itself, there was just no stopping West Virginia. I might say that one of the things I looked at, and I was surprised when I looked at the stats later, I really thought, based on just viewing the game, that we did a lot better than we did against Penn State on 3rd and 4th down. And lo and behold, we were, on Saturday, we were 50% on 3rd and 4th down, 9 out of 18. But we were 7 out of 20 against Penn State. And Duquesne was 5 out of 17. So I think we got to do a lot better in that department. And, the other thing about Green, you see this with Colorado. How Sanders goes. I mean, if he's not in there, he's the turnkey to the engine. And Green now, I think, is 57th in the country on quarterback rating. But he's still passing under 50, around 50%, which he's going to have to improve. So that very much could have been a trap game. We'll see how good Duquesne is when they play Coastal this week. But yeah, it happens all the time. I can't tell you the number of times I watched that happen at Michigan State, where a team would come in. Louisiana Tech comes to mind when John L. Smith was head coach, and whoa, they laid an egg and lost.
Al, is there any time that you can remember in all of your sports that you were like, you just lost the game because you didn't focus, not you specifically, but the teams you coached lost a game that they should not have lost because they were hung over from the week before, meaning Penn State.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What year was it? Miami blocks the punt at home.
Oh, 94.
They blocked the punt at the end of the game. They score. They beat us. The next week we play, was it UVA the next week? I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. Because next week we had just enough energy to get out of the locker room, to get to the field. Because we were terrible. We had no energy, and it took all the air out of our balloon when that block punt by Miami. What year would that have been? 86, 87?
You're talking about that. No, you're talking about that block punt in the last second, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was in the 90s.
Was it early 90s?
Lee, was it Hawkeye?
Yeah, I think so.
What year was that?
I think it was 93 because we should have never punted the ball.
Oh,
They'd
93.
almost blocked
93. We went undefeated that year. 93, we went undefeated.
91, I think, something like that, because they were number 4 in the country. We were going to beat them. We should have beat them. I remember, man. I remember that. I remember it. I was there, and now that's why I remember it, because I was there. I didn't play. I wasn't coaching then, but I remember in the end zone watching that, and I was just like, are you kidding me? These sons of guns came out, and they blocked it with 35 seconds, something like that left in the game. What a great game the Mountaineers played the entire time. Hey, go ahead. Let's see what anybody says that out there. Let's get that year in there. Go ahead. Timothy Green, go ahead. Let's fire it up there. All right. Well, let's.
Dale, if you remember in that game, they almost blocked 4 punts in that game. We should have never punted the ball. We should have never punted the ball there.
All right. Very good. Okay. I remember that, boy. I tell you what. In fact, it was when I first. I'm not going to go on that story.
And everybody in the house knew that was going to happen.
All we had to do was run the clock out, right?
Yes.
All we had to do wasn't there less than 10 seconds left in the game?
Yeah, we could have took a safety. We could have run right out the back of the end zone.
Yeah. I think that's one of Coach Nealon's one of his biggest regrets in his coaching career is not have the punter run out of the back of the end zone for 2 as opposed to giving him 7.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Hey, guys, I got to make sure I get this commercial in here. Let's do a commercial from Abby right here, 30 seconds, and we'll go ahead and check it out.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All right, gentlemen, let's start talking now. What do you see here? Let's start out with offense. What did you see? And I'm going to go to you, BP. What did you see in the offense that you really liked?
I like the way he was moving the ball. I think the quarterback found a receiver to go to. It's always good to have someone to go to. You know what I mean? Someone when things don't go right, you feel comfortable going to. I think every quarterback always has that. I think he found this person. With this portal, everybody's moving all over the place. It's hard to get comfortable. And hopefully, he gets comfortable with this guy all year long.
All right. Let me ask you this, Keith. What did you see the second half you were following? What did you see click in that you thought was really good? I'm going to say, Garrett Green and his long ball. What did you think kicked in on the offense as you were listening?
Well, it sounded like we ran the ball pretty well. It sounded like we was running the ball pretty good. Listening to him on the radio, I didn't see the passes, but it didn't sound like Garrett's long ball was really working for him. Although he did have two touchdown passes over 40 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, I think you misunderstood that one because the long ball was on fire. In fact, if anything, it was the receivers that were dropping the ball. I would say that his placement was very excellent. Again, tough for you to figure that out listening to it. But watching it, I would say that really was one of his strengths. Again, Lee, I'm going to go to you, and I'm going to say, did he show us he could do that intermediate passing this game?
Well, I'm still trying to work through because he might be the grittiest player on the team. I really like him. And I can't tell if it's receivers, bad routes, when the long passes don't work. It seems like he's running out of the pocket for his life at times. I'm going back to Penn State especially because he's right under my nose. But he's gritty and he can make the throws. It's just it's one of those things that chicken or the egg. I'm not sure the receivers are on the same page as the quarterback yet, but they'll get there, I'm sure. And it looks like we found a receiver this week. Kid was a walk-on at the beginning of the game, and now he's got him a scholarship, so that's kind of a cool story.
You know, I was looking at him on the sidelines, Frank, and I'm like, that is one young-looking guy. I mean, I'm like, am I really basing my weekly hopes on these kids? I realize that this kid, I mean, he's a handsome guy, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, he's just a baby, it seemed like, you know? And he's out there, he had 177 yards.
Yeah, bless him. You know, when you read his story, I didn't know much about him because, you know, I was following Rivals, you know, and I couldn't find any information about him because he was a walk-on, preferred walk-on. But it just shows you heart, physicality, dedication delivers. You know, it answer the question about what was I looking for? And I wasn't looking for what happened. And that is, God bless those freshmen. You look at not only Hudson Clement, but look at White, 110 yards, 9 yards a carry. Rodney Gallagher showed a lot, even though he didn't have a lot of stats. And Jero J on defense, 1.5 sacks. Those freshmen carried the day. Very, very impressive. I thought that was really, really an important part of that game.
Hey, Al, let me ask you this. They told Justin Clements, right? I got his name right, correct? Clements, yeah. They told him you're starting the game like a couple minutes before. He had no idea Devin Carter was not going to start. And is that the best thing could happen to a freshman? That he doesn't sit there and think about it?
Absolutely.
So, he just pops in there.
Yeah, because if you give him too much time to think about it, he could have been in trouble mentally, you know. And I think just throwing him in the fire like that, telling him at the last minute was probably the best thing for him. I saw an interview with him yesterday where he said, you know, the question was, of course, hey, you know, were you nervous once you got the news that you were starting? Were you nervous? I mean, I would have worried if the kid would have said no, because I was thinking, first of all, there's probably a little bit of a difference between high school football and playing college football, but I thought he handled it well. But the kid, give him as little time to think about it as possible.
Well, I can tell you my freshman stories, and none of them turned out well for me. Usually, most of them ended poorly. I certainly didn't have 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns, whatever, 177 yards. But that's because I was fighting in this inner scrub. Lee, when I look at the inner scrub there, that offensive line, well, what sticks out to you, man, on that line? Because you were a linebacker. You know what to look for at offensive linemen. And what were you sniffing out and seeing?
So I know their experience, and that's worth a lot. I would like to see Nasty just a little more. I think they're probably, but I'm not sure there's a place for Nasty in today's game because of the zone blocking and all this. Maybe I just don't understand, but I think those have to be the biggest pricks on the team, and I'd like to see a little more Nasty. I know they're experienced, but I wish they had, the green light just to be a play with a little more nastiness. But I know they got the experience.
Well, you know what? It is allowed to be nasty, just so you know. Michigan shows that very well. When you look at their offensive linemen, they have snap to them. And I actually understand what you're saying that, but I will say that Zach Frazier is fairly prickish. And he's fairly, I'm saying 1 out of 5 now, all right? But
yeah, I think you're right.
But you also make a point about that zone, man. It's not quite as same. It's more placement and getting in front of someone than it is moving someone, an opponent. And that's what I don't like so much about this zone, especially when you look at this short yardage. Darryl Prue, let me ask you a question. If I could go ahead and go in the shotgun 5 yards deep and have a running back right of me, left of me, maybe behind me in the pistol, which would be better because he'd be running down yards. Or if I'm in short yardage and I want to go, or should I go underneath the center and just jump up in there and get 6 inches, 8 inches, a foot? All right. Would I be better to go under center, or would you continue to do the shotgun?
I think you go in the center. You give your quarterback an option too. I mean, like you got the quarterback option and you have the running back option. You're going into shotgun, you're giving guys more time to penetrate the gaps. So I would go right behind the center.
because I asked this, DP, of you, because I'm thinking about what would I do if I wanted to go dunk a ball? Do I want to go run 3 yards through people, or do I want to run a yard through or a foot through a person and go up and slam it? I mean, I just ask you in your terms, your terminology. All right. Do I want to go through? I mean, I'm not talking about over like Michael Jordan. I'm talking about the average good basketball player. He's got to run 2 people to do that.
Yeah. So the difference between me and Chris Brooks didn't need 3 yards. I needed 3 yards to get that momentum going. Chris could just do it on 2 inches.
Well, let me tell you something. Back in the day when I played with Coach Ford at the Coliseum, all right, I used to run from like the half line to go dunk it, man, at 290. Pow. I had that.
Ford knocked you down.
They take your knees out when you try to go up. All right. So let me think about this. Keith, when you see this game and the score and all the yards, they came out flat, but they put it on there. What does this tell you, Keith, in your mind about what you're seeing this team? What hope does this give you on offense? I'm talking.
It shows me that when they get it together, they can play. So obviously, after the rain delay, whatever. I think I heard somebody say that they fed them pizza during the rain delay, so maybe we should feed them pizza every Saturday.
Really? I didn't hear that about pizza, but they used to just give us oranges, Coach Johnson.
Yeah.
All we got was oranges from you. All right? I got tired of oranges, man. It was like I got the seed pits in my mouth all the time.
That's because half our team was from Florida.
You guys were under some different regulations too back then with the NCAA. They could give you what was it, a peanut butter sandwich with no bread.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you, what was that protein drink you gave us in that steel can? What was that?
Patrick.
Beer.
No, it was the worst thing.
Susticow.
Yeah,
It tastes like.
Coach, that's what you give old people.
We had chocolate, vanilla, and pink.
Hey, you're talking about Ensure. We gave you Ensure.
Yeah.
That's all we have. Nowadays, they have a whole snack bar up there full of the best of stuff. Like when I was on the broadcast team, I'd run down before the game from up there broadcasting and go through all the snacks and steal beef jerkies and stuff. I'd be like, they won't miss this because they got boxes and boxes of them. Hey, go ahead, get me now, Shane Lyons. All right, but anyways, I used to raid the snack bar. It was the best thing. I tell you, being on scholarship nowadays, or not even on scholarship, being on a team nowadays, because they treat the non-scholarships the same as the scholarships. So, which is the best rule that's ever come up in college football, to be quite honest with you, is because remember back in our day, we had that you had to pay if you were on a scholarship, you had to pay to go ahead and get that dinner. Now they don't have to do that. We used to go out and have to, we'll help some guys out that were short on money just to give them food. I remember that. It broke my heart. And so they changed that. Best rule ever in college football, in college sports, is everybody eats there now. Everybody eats.
That was terrible back then.
Remember that? That was horrible, man.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. Like even with the snacks, I went over to the practice facility. They got, they got nuts, bars. They got all different kind of Gatorades, and like you said in the game, all we had was Coke and orange.
I think we had oranges we had bananas too, and we had Coach John's protein shake.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's turn this around. Lee Javins. All right,
sir.
Defensively, we got to look at this defensively. What did you like? What did you see? And we'll get back to you about what you did like later on.
I thought we had some nice linebacker play both weeks. I think we got some athletes playing linebacker. I'm concerned. I could be wrong. Just my eyes tell me that our defensive backfield doesn't match up size-wise, and maybe that's going to be a problem going forward. And then depth on D-line. I think I like the D-line, but again, Penn State's a good example. I don't know that we're too deep at the D-line like we'd like to be. And so, I'm sorry, what did I like? But I liked the linebacker play on defense. I did. I thought they played well in the scheme. I think they're making the most out of what they got because we have maybe not a lot of depth at D-line. Maybe I should say it that way.
You know, Frank, I'm going to ask this. You're probably not going to like this question because this is getting into it. Lance Dixon at 11 tackles against Minnesota. Okay. We're starting Lathan as a freshman, and he did really well this game. I was really impressed with him. He had some nice hits, and he's going to be good. He's going to be good at will linebacker I'm talking about. And he's right now he's 1, 2, 3. Trey is number 3 on the team in total tackles with 9 in 2 games. So he's a talented young man. But Lance Dixon had 11 tackles against the best offensive line, and they got him out there at the spear position, and he's not doing a whole lot. And you can't say that our secondary is benefiting from a dude that's a linebacker being out there.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. You know, the thing that, well, let me say the things I liked and then get right to your question. I looked for how well Audrey Burks did because against Penn State, boy, I mean, he graded out like a 25. Well, Pro Football Focus had him at a 66, which is good. But here's what I didn't like. And it was awful for us, but awful showed up for them. I'm talking about Teddy Off.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that one.
Well, you know, I looked at what he did against Edinburgh, which is obviously lower than Duquesne. He did nothing, like 4 yards. He had 100 yards, 1 TD, and we just couldn't cover him. And that's really, really troubling. And so there are still issues. I mean, if you're Pitt, you're watching that very, very closely because obviously they're going to look at weaknesses. Defense was better. I'm looking at the grades on defense and Simmons and Ruffin. I was very impressed with Beanie Bishop. I watched him when he was at Minnesota, and he was good. But, boy, I'll tell you, I can understand why you're concerned.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. All right, so what about you, Hawkeye? What do you think about that in the defense that you liked, that you saw? You know, because you didn't see, but, you know, you were listening. It sounded to me the defense really clamped them down in the second half.
The defense played well, and I'll go back to the Penn State game. You know, we really kept Penn State in check as far as running the ball. I thought our guys up front, our linebackers played pretty well. Secondary had a couple of breakdowns. It cost us. Then you flip over, and then I remember listening to the game, that Edinburgh, we had a lot of trouble with him. So we still got work to do in the secondary. But I think as far as up front, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'd like to see a little better pass rush. But I think the linebackers are playing the run well based off of what the front four are doing.
All right.
I think they're playing well.
All right, very good. How about you, Al? What did you like about the D?
Tell you what, I like. Looked like we stretched the field a little bit more. You know, obviously, I think that's a plus. We had good balance in the game in terms of running the ball. You know, if you look at after 2 games, I mean, we're pretty much even at. You know, we're averaging 238 yards a game, passing, and 225 yards rushing. The thing that sticks out to me, I mean, we're talking about there's the front 5 or front 7 on defense. I mean, we're only giving up 75 yards a game after 2 games. I know you got to throw in the Duquesne factor, but I think it's got to build some confidence going into Pitt. And I think Pitt, you know, looking at some stats from the Cincinnati game, they struggled at times. And I think the first week they struggled also against Wofford, moving the ball on the ground. And they also did the same against Cincinnati. So I think it's encouraging. I think we're gaining confidence at this point after 2 games. We've gained some confidence. And I think that this game is going to be a game. Hopefully we look back on the Pitt game and say this was one of the big turning points in the season, where everything came together going into the Big 12 play.
All right. Everybody else gave what they liked there. Let's go out. What did you like there? What do you think is they're lacking on defense?
Do we have enough size on that line? And that's why the linebackers are free running through everything. We're not getting a pass rush from the line. I think that's why maybe it's not helping the secondary. I think everything is kind of like, works together. We got more pressure on the quarterback than the young defensive backs can, get better angles and stuff like that. The first game against Penn State, those crossing routes was killing them. It was all bad angles. Everything was just bad. We under the guy, they throwing it over the top. They behind the guy, they throwing it in front. The running game, like you said, that linebacker crew was pretty good. Like one guy got 9 solo tackles. You know what I mean? So people were running up gut against us or running wide. The linebackers are doing a pretty good job, but are we getting enough pass rush when those guys are passing? And Pitt passed the ball more because of that.
Yeah, that's for sure. What about you, Javins?
Well, I think the kids from Colorado said it best. Shador and the D-back, when asked what's the difference between Division, University of Colorado and being back at Jackson State, and they said, everybody's got speed, everybody's got athletes. The difference between the really good teams and the rest is line play, especially at D-line. And look at Georgia, look at all the great teams, and that's something that it just seems like something we've not been able to tap into the last few years, and that's the concern is depth and size at the D-line. And I think the whole defense breaks down without a 4-man pass rush.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, don't even get me started. Don't talk about 3 people. It drives me absolutely insane. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Charlie McBride, okay, defensive coordinator for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, back when the black shirts were the black shirts, 2 national championships, coached under Tom Osborne. He taught me so much about defense. He was my mentor when I was learning how to run a defense. Jacobs taught me offense. Charlie McBride taught me defense. And, he used to say, I will never rush 3 people. Never rush. Because you can see a quarterback with a third, when they don't get past 5 guys, the quarterback's going to sit there, and I don't care who your DBs are, the wide receivers will get open if he can stand open all day long. All right. Time and time again, I think you can do it. Frank, we're going to have you do a study. All right, we're going to have you do a study about what the percentage of getting off the field was for 4-man rush, 4 or greater, to a 3-man rush. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Jeff Castile, when I was coaching here at WVU, one of the times, I've been there twice, but one of the times is we had a 3-man rush, the SWAT, we call it SWAT 8, all right, 3-man rush, and then we dropped 8, rush 3, dropped 8, or we had the 4-man go in there. And we had a higher percentage of getting off the field with a 4-man rush on the 3rd downs. That's what we did. We did a study. Lavich and I did it, and we got off more. It was probably 8% more, something like that, if I can remember the true stat, probably 8 to 10%, something like that the Mountaineers got off because they had 4 dedicated rushers. And I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that because that applies to this right now. The problem I see with this Mountaineer secondary, all right, is either the coaches are not giving them enough leash, or they're not showing enough confidence. They're not empowering these DBs to believe in themselves. All right, when Beanie Wells got that interception, all right, it was because he was up, or not because, it was on a play where he was up challenging that wide receiver. All right, there's no doubt Paradas, the quarterback, was going to go one-on-one with Beanie. But Beanie was up there within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. When you see all this cushion back and they're running, you got to, first of all, I don't know if you know your field position. I don't know if you know your first downs. I've said this in all my breakdowns since last year. I'm tired of repeating myself. All right, the idea is this. You have to challenge every once in a while. You can't sit there. You have to reroute a receiver every once in a while. Because if you're playing on air, guess what it is? Lee Javins, what is it when you just play on air? What is it? They call it Skelly, right?
Yeah.
They call it Skelly when you're playing on air, when you're going ahead and you're throwing, because no defender is getting up there. No defender's touching you. No defender's trying to reroute you. No defender is going man-on-man coverage with you. No defender's playing pass rush. Did you see that 3rd and 10? And twice they went and the guy backed up to 15 yards before he even had a comeback. And they threw and they got a first down. You can't do that. You can't go ahead and line up and not be aggressive. If you're going to be off 7 to 10 yards, you got to be sure of how you break on the ball. Because if not, that's an easy hitch for any offense. Easy. See, it's not just about giving the space. Hey, listen, Deion Sanders could give you 10 yards, all right? Deion Sanders could be at 5 yards in a second. You know what I'm saying? He could break on the ball in a split second, and that was his strength. If you don't have that break, either challenge, have him be able to come up. You're going to get beat once in a while. You're going to have to give up a long ball. But at the same time, it's either going to stab in the heart with a long ball or slice you 100 times down the field because we'll take 5 yards, 10 yards here every single time, and it'll slowly bleed you to death instead of going to the heart. Either way, then you're going to die. At least have them get up there and get good at playing man coverage. And the other thing, too, and I'm going to leave it at this, and I'm going to let you guys finish up with it. I'm going to leave it at this. Charlie McBride taught me, and this is what I don't see going on in the secondary, and this is what I bet you, Lee, I bet you understand this, and I bet you, Darryl, you understand this because you played on these zones. But when you go zone defense in the secondary, your zone turns into man when an opponent comes in your zone, right? All right, you treat that as man until he leaves your zone. That is the difference with how you teach that. I don't see that. I see them drifting when people are in their zones. I don't see them reacting to actual eye acknowledgement when these opponents are coming in their zones. Or because if they did, you'd see them get a lot closer. Closer. All right. And you know what, Frank? You're smart. What do you think about what I just said?
Well, you're right on. You know, as you're talking, I know we're going to talk about Pitt, but I bet you if you did a breakdown of the Cincinnati tape on defense, that at the end of the game when Pitt was driving to win that game, and you look at the sacks, I bet you those blitz were four-man blitzes. Betcha. Be interesting to go back and study that.
And the other thing is you got to have that pressure, right? For sure. All right, Lee, what do you think about that?
Chicken or egg? Defensive backs play maybe apprehensively because maybe they don't believe that the D-line's going to put on pressure so they get too big of a cushion, or vice versa. And so
whose fault is that? Is that the coach's fault, DB's fault, or the defensive line's fault?
You know, I believe it's got to be hard baked in, and that is we're going to play, I call it soft defense, but is that because you don't believe in your D-backs or because you don't believe your D-line is going to get pressure? But so long as there's not pressure, the D-backs have to improvise. So, again, to me, it's chicken or the egg. I don't, it's going to take a little longer in the season maybe to figure that out. But I do worry that we can't get the pressure that we need. And then on top of that, do we have the horses to cover? And I don't love that setup. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think that they are actually enjoying doing some things differently that I think they can show some pressure. Darryl Prue, what do you say to that?
I mean, I think that's what happened the first game. The crossing routes guys are just going anywhere they want to go. There was no rerouting. So I think they're not good enough. Or the coaching, they wanted them to play like that. They just wanted them to be around the ball on a catch. I just think you got to reroute these guys. Timing. A lot of these passes and these pass plays are timing. You got to knock their timing on.
Oh yes, thank you very much. Because you know what? That actually applies to basketball as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just get them out of your rhythm, get in defense, and that's all defensive stuff right there, man. Annoy them, get them out of their rhythm, man. And it doesn't matter the passer or the receiver. It doesn't matter. It all applies the same. Okay, so when Coach Johnson, here we go, man. Is that what's the best secondary coverage you can have?
Blanket, get a blanket, cover them up.
Right.
Disrupt and reroute. Disrupt and reroute. I think you guys have covered it because, I mean, geez, oh man, if I'm running unopposed, if I'm running my route and I'm running unopposed, then I don't care if you've got 4 All-Americans up front in the trenches. It's not going to make a difference. But if the guys up, the stats are somewhat, they can be skewed in terms of, you look at the secondary. What are we giving up? We're giving up passing. We're giving up 281 yards a game in the air after 2 games. And you look at that and you're thinking, man, that secondary sucks. Well, guess what? Hey, we got to get more pressure up front. And like you guys have already covered, hey, we got to disrupt. We got to reroute. Hey, give yourself a chance to get pressure on that quarterback.
There's no doubt about it. All right, Hawkeye, you got to get rolling because you got to go referee, man. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up with this. What's the best coverage you could come up with? And Coach Johnson had exactly what I was thinking about, but except for one last thing is what's the best way you can defend the pass?
Well, you've definitely got to get up on the line of scrimmage and put hands on at least on the 2 outside guys or the widest guy, because he's the primary. Take him off his route, slow him down. That messes up the timing for everybody. It screws up the progression from receiver 1 to number 3. I think when they play this zone, it looks like they go to a place. I don't really see them running around everywhere. It's like they go to a place and they're flat-footed instead of reacting to the man that comes into their zone and picking that coverage up. And I think that boils down to maybe they don't have a lot of confidence in maybe the 2 deep safeties.
Well, I don't believe that now. Because if you don't say you got confidence in Aubrey Burks, that's just not true, right? I mean, they're not going to do it. What you don't have confidence. Listen, this is what I say, Hawkeye. I'm saying is that there's one way to go ahead and instill confidence in your defense. Let them challenge. Let them play.
Let them play some one-on-one.
Yes, but you got to do it smart, right? Javins, you got to be smart about it. You just can't go up and be like, I'm going to challenge now, and then watch the guy go blow by you like Justin Clements did to the Duke DB. You got to pick your spots, but that's what a coach is supposed to do. But the coach can also have a leash too tight and say, I don't want you closer than 5 yards. What? Well, I'm telling you right now, they're giving them 10 to 12 yards, and if you don't crash it down, like I said, that Dion, you're going to make your break in a split second, then you're in trouble, and you're going to give up a lot of freebies. And just like Penn State, and just like in Duquesne, they gave up some serious RPOs. Well, more Penn State, not Duquesne, one of them, but RPO because the way you aligned your defense. And to me, that's a weakness right off the bat. If you don't align that up to go ahead, and you also got to remember, you have to react. And you can't just drop back 15 when it's the first down is 10 yards. You got to know where your down and distance is. Mm-hmm. How about did I show you guys in the film the last year of them inside the 20-yard line, say they're on the 18-yard line, the opposing offense, and your DB's on the 8. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like that's the closest I've ever seen of giving up free yards in a red zone in my life. I've never seen that.
Dale, if you're jamming that receiver, if that DB's up there jamming that receiver, then there's 2 things going on. Number 1, you're beating the hell out of that guy every play. You're beating the hell out of him. Them arms and hands are going to get sore in a little while. And it's the mental aspect of the game. I can't get off the line. I can't get off the line clean.
No, there's no doubt about it. And, honestly, I just think that's it. So, all right, here we go. Frank, there we go, man. Give me your final opinion.
Well, I'm thinking about last year, and, you would just watch that defense and just cringe. They had 14 tackles for losses the other day with 4 or 5 sacks. And so you can't be confident. That front, I think, is coming along. The linebackers graded out well. Beanie Bishop is the only D-back that graded above 80. I think Tim Green put it, they're a work in progress. And Hawkeye said it. Penn State, the thought was they're just going to jam it down our throat. They could not run against us. And Duquesne could not either. That kid, and I can't recall his name right now, had 100 yards in the first game. I think had 3 against us, or 4 or something like that. And so I think there's possibilities. I was going to ask you, Wolf. I didn't see. Was it Montre Miller? I didn't see. Did he participate on Saturday night? I couldn't find him in the stats.
Yeah, I could,
because he's got experience. Beanie Bishop came from Minnesota. And Montre came from Kent State. And that's one of the things here is getting some experience back there. I don't think he played.
No.
I don't know if he was injured or what.
No, he played one game. My stat shows it one game, and I knew he was in the back.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think that you need him out there. He's got a lot of fire in the belly. But, you know, they I don't know if we have time to talk about this later, but, you know, it's all about getting ready for Pitt. And that's where I think the offense comes in really important, too, because for the first time this year, we're gonna play against a quasi-mobile quarterback.
All right, what does quasi mean?
Almost mobile when he needs to be, but he's slow. Okay. What I'm really saying, in case his mother's watching, he's slow. And Cincinnati did a number on him.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the humpback in Notre Dame.
I tell you what, he what was 10 for 32? 10 for 32 at home on Saturday. So this Jervac guy. So that's a key for us. Get confidence secondary.
Yeah, that Jervac, he's a jerk back, I think. jerk back, it's Slovis, it's a Slavish. Now he's playing for BYU. I think he had a pretty good game against Southern Utah, but that is SSU or SUU. Yeah. So, anyways, I still don't like Slovis. I don't like Jerkback. Okay, just so you know that. I think he's a jerk, Lee Javins. All right. What do you want to finish up on saying?
Well, I think Pitt might not be very good, and so.
Would you say that Pitt sucks?
Yeah, Pitt sucks. They've always sucked.
No, I'm talking about the program and the way.
Right.
Not about.
No, where I'm going is Pitt might not be good, and I'll be honest, I don't. Ever since we've been in the Big 12, I'm not sure I recognize football because it seems like our brand of football is not terribly physical to begin with, as far as the entire conference. And so, hell, we might be fine. I don't know. You know, we get a win against Pitt, then we go into conference play, and so who knows? That's my takeaway. I don't understand it because it doesn't look like football I'm used to seeing. Even back when Rich Rod was here, our guys would run you in the dirt, and they played with a really hard edge. And our line play on both sides of the ball was nasty. I'd like to see a little bit of that, but maybe there's no place for it in the Big 12 because I don't see it anywhere in the Big 12.
You know, I see in Texas. You can't tell me Texas, all right?
Guess what? Guess where they're going next year? I think they got a wake-up call. And right.
Okay, now I go ahead and buy that. But I'm going to tell you this. Pitt is, you know what Pitt, I think about them. I don't like Narduzzi because he's arrogant. He's a prick, all right? But I also like him because he's a prick. All right, because I like the way he coaches, and I know this is what makes me concerned about Pitt is he knows how to get that interior offensive line to block and be able to run, and he knows how to get that interior defensive line how to stop the run, and I think that's the key because again we go back to the Garrett Green issue, man. He has not proven to me that he is an effective passer when it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. 3rd and 7. Okay, he's not been accurate. He's still at 50%. The being successful in Power 5 football, your quarterback has to be 60. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. He threw the long ball great, in my opinion. And I see that he can throw that. I really do. But he's not good enough with his footwork and with his vision over. And when he has time, he's good. Anyone's as good when they got time. Al Johnson, is that any quarterback? Even better?
No question. Give him time. It's the ones that you make them, you push them, and they got pressure. I mean, that's where you find out a lot about quarterback. I mean, hey, it's like going 7-on-7. Quarterbacks are thrown against air. They're all Americans. They're all Americans. Put some heat on them. Bring some gas to them. It changes the whole perspective of the game.
All right. Well, Mike Rollins thinks Gigi's starting to find his mojo. Well, if he's starting to find his mojo, then you better find Nicole Taylor, the tight end, more because that right there is the number one target he should be throwing to. He should be Dalton Kincaid. Cole Taylor, nobody, that poor Duke secondary, there was nobody that could have tackled him. I swear to you, I even tweeted something out like that because he's just so big, so much of a difference. And I will say this is that I do think that Narduzzi is a defensive whiz, and I think that he's going to have a game plan. I mean, Frank, you know Narduzzi, man. You're Michigan State.
Yeah, he's great, but I'll tell you what, they didn't look good Saturday night at all. In fact, talking about the tight ends, I figured, what the heck? I'm going to look at the Cincinnati papers and saying, okay, how did Cincinnati win that game? And one of the reasons is they threw a bunch of tight ends. I think there were 3 or 4 that played, and they couldn't stop them. And I'm just going to say, Cole Taylor is a really important dude, really important on Saturday. And I'll tell you another person we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about it all because he hasn't gotten into kick one yet. Michael Hayes, I think, is going to be critical on Saturday. He hasn't attempted a field goal yet this year. And they've got a good field goal kicker. If this thing's tight, that three-pointer is going to be worth gold. So we're going to see how good he is. Played at Georgia State. He's going to be really critical.
All right, you guys. All you guys got to go, man. Go. I got Tommy Robsock is coming on here shortly, but he said his link is not working. Imagine an offensive lineman and his link not working. Go figure that. All right, we got it here. All right, guys. So tell me this, Lee. When you see that tight end, how hard is it? You never see tight ends really get covered in college football. How hard is it as a linebacker to cover tight end, especially when they're 6'7"?
Usually there's a size disadvantage, and that's just a built-in mismatch. The tight ends tend to be 6'4", 6'5", and especially the inside linebacker who often covers the tight end is 6 foot, and so there's just a built-in. That's why it's a great play, because that's what makes it so effective. Is all things being equal, if they're the same speed, just a size disadvantage, and they can use their body as a shield against a linebacker, and that's why they run that play. That's why it's so effective.
All right. How about think about this? When you're a linebacker and you think that Hawkeye, you out of here, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I thought you were getting out of here at 5.
No, I'm getting out of here in a minute. You didn't let me get my last word in.
All right, I'm Lee. I'm going to cut you off.
Sure.
Yeah. Hold your thought. Go ahead.
Real quick, the block punt was 1996. That was Jermaine that blocked it.
Jermaine. Yeah. All right, I agree with you there. All right.
And
so what else?
That's all I got. Let Lee take over. I got a big game to go call.
Yeah. Hey, go use that Hawkeye.
That's right. Hey, have you guys noticed high school scoring in West Virginia over the past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You've been seeing this?
No.
I had the Nitro St. Albans game week before last, 86-6, the final. I ran 10.7 miles according to my watch.
Well, weren't you, wait a minute, weren't you like all happy about that? Or no, you were calling the coach
very unclassy
boy.
Very unclassy.
Yeah, a sissy boy, I think is what you called him. No.
Well, that was between us. But, when you have a quarterback break a record that a J.R. House set the state passing record for touchdowns in the game in a state championship at 10. Then you go play St. Albans Middle School and let a kid throw 11 touchdowns. I'm not for sure how that's a record and how that makes your team feel good, but that's just me. But it's out of hand. It is out of hand, guys.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you. Hey, Frank Fear, I got to resend this link here to Rob Sock. Talk to us about Michigan State. What's happening there?
Later, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I tell you, when it rains, it pours. And this thing is going to – all the details aren't in yet, but at about 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, USA Today broke a story basically saying that there was a major sexual harassment claim made against Mel Tucker. I mean, it's really serious. And the thing is, people getting up Sunday morning, getting that in their feed. I mean, there was all kinds of details about what happened on a phone sex call But I couldn't make this up if I tried, because the person this is the person who made the allegation is Brenda Tracy, who's known nationally as obviously she goes from campus to campus to talk with coaches and football players about sexual harassment and assault. She was gang raped at Oregon State by athletes about a decade ago or more than that. And this is the person who's making the allegation against him. So he's been suspended. They're going to bring Mark D'Antonio back as an advisor. It's an absolute mess. We've experienced things in the past. All schools do. We experienced it at WVU recently with Huggins, and you get a lot of stuff coming. I think people are just traumatized over this. They're just shocked. It happened within hours after Michigan State won on Saturday, and here we go. He's off the sidelines. He's been suspended. Likely he's going to get fired. He just signed an extension, a $90 million 9-year contract, made him one of the most highly paid coaches. And so right now it's a bad scene.
That's bad scene. All right, well we won't get that one going because I don't think we want to go into that. That's got to play out and see how that goes. So that's not good. Anytime that happens right at the beginning of the season, what I feel bad for is if it's a bad story, if it's a true story, still bad for the players, the kids, everybody involved. And if it's not, it's still bad for the players. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's going to ruin their season or have a taint on that. So that's not so good. All right, so let's finish up here the pit. What do you guys think? And I'm going to have Tommy Robsock. I'll have him join us. Heck, he could join us anyways. What's up, Robert? There you are. What's up, Tommy? Is he frozen?
He looks frozen.
He looks frozen.
Yep, it's frozen.
Tommy, can you hear us? All right. Off. Here we go. Finish up here now about Pitt. What do you think, Lee, that you're going to see that we need to do, work on to get better?
We need to run the ball at them, play physical football. End of story. Just play physical football and just beat the hell out of Pitt. It's just that simple.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about it. And Al, what do you say you got to do to go ahead and the Mountaineers got to come up and beat Pitt? Physical is certainly one of them. I think again here's the problem with Pitt. They looked really bad. Looked really bad against Cincy. Cincinnati looked really great, but then they came back and they did some things. And actually, Cincinnati was kind of on the ropes. At the end there, you're sitting there worried about who's going to win that game.
There's no question. Yeah, because it's Pitt. This is be one of the most physical games we'll play the entire season. And I think this game, I'm going to go out on a ledge right now. I'm going to say we're going to rush for more yards this game than we will be passing, only because we won't have to pass the ball as much. I believe the offensive line we will pound these guys. And I think that the Mountaineers will win by 10-plus points in this game, in my opinion. And I think that.
Do you hear that, Tommy Robsock?
I hear you. I like it. Al.
Good. Hey, Ty, I was thinking of you. But, I think, you think about, we're stuffing the run. And after 2 games, we're stuffing the run on defense. We're stuffing them. If we can get some pressure on the quarterback, I'll take pressure off the secondary. You'll have more balance. I'm just saying this is going to be it. This is
going to be what?
He's frozen, I think.
Look at that face. Coach, you froze.
I'll get all wound up, and now he's frozen. Look at him.
You guys, that's exactly right. His place. Go ahead.
Hey.
Go ahead, Al.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, there's one thing to do here. I'm going to remove gas. So I got the power, baby. I got the power. Robert.
Dale.
Yes.
Hey, one thing, if I could, real quick, I haven't seen or talked to Al Johnson in a long time, and man, I miss you, Al. It was a great run when we had it, and I follow your career. I see what you're doing, and no, man, I really miss you. You were a big part of me and my development, and I know a lot of my Mountaineer brothers around me. So I can't wait to see you in person again and give you a big old hug. But yeah, thank you for everything you've done for me, man. It was a good run while we were there.
Don't worry, Robert. You can't get rid of him. He'll be back. He's your worst nightmare. He's the strength coach.
Yeah, where'd he go? Where's Big Al? Yeah.
You can't get rid of the strength coach, man. He'll be back. All right. So that's it. So Frank and Lee, anything else for the good of the fight?
Tom Robsock was a prick, and I loved him for it. That's what we need. We need a little more.
Come on, man. You're lucky. Hey, Lee, how far away are you? Let's go.
I mean that in the nicest
Good
way.
seeing you, Lee.
All right, guys.
Wait a
I know
minute.
you do, sir.
You're not going to leave on that, Lee. Come on, man. You got to sit there and be like, but you know what? He learned from Wolf.
Sure. I mean, you were a prick too.
Yeah, Wolf
right.
There we go.
Let me
Did I
tell
notice
you,
a theme
Wolf
today?
will be under his wing.
I have an overall theme. I'd like to see a little more. Yeah, what's that? I got to have more cowbell. I'd like to have a little more prick in my Mountaineer football. That's all.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I'll provide the cowbell, baby. Yeah. All right. Hey, go ahead, Tommy. Talk to Al real quick.
Al, I don't know if you heard what I said when you were frozen there, did you?
Yes. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, no, I miss you, man. We had a heck of a good time. We had a good group of guys, and I appreciate everything you did for me. And like I said, all my Mountaineer buddies. And yeah, man, I wish you all the best. I always think about you, and I hope to see you real soon.
Tell me I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Hey,
I know.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You're not dead.
Hey, as in anything, hey, the spirit has to be willing, and you guys were a willing bunch to work and work hard. And hey, things that put you and Wolfley and Lee through, I probably would be in jail today doing the things I did to you guys back then.
All right. That is fantastic. Hey, listen, I love both of you, man, but Al, you got to go because your connection's not good. All right. We'll see you, brother. See you next week.
Take care.
All right, man.
See you, Al.
Al Johnson. All right, Frank. We got to take care, man. Thank you so much. Hey, listen. Oh, by the way, we got to let you know. I want Thursday. I want predictions. Have you guys come on for a short time. We'll do some predictions. All right.
Great. Super. Look forward to it.
All right, man. Here we go. Lee, out of here, brother.
See you, brother.
I'm gonna get an ugly here on. Oh my gosh, how great it is. All right, Robert, it's you and me, brother. How's everything going?
It's going good. We got through some minor technical difficulties, but I think we're in good shape
You
now.
think so? All right, well, that's good news. And again, remind me who Horny is back there.
Oh yeah, that's well, I moved a couple around. We used to have spaghetti and meatballs, and that's just spaghetti. Meatballs, I moved them out to the farm.
Meatballs got.
We got a couple more over here, Wolf. Let me see. There you go. There's a couple more of them big boys right there. See
What's
them?
your names?
That's I don't know. I don't know if I named them. It's usually my kids that give them names.
Oh, so spaghetti and meatballs was a favorite of your kids. I could tell that they like that.
Oh.
What'd you do? You screwed up the connection.
Look at that. I unplugged
All right, come back on. Come back on. All right, we'll get him back on. Oh my gosh, there's spaghetti and meatballs in his house, but there's also meathead, and I think that Tommy there might be fit into one of those categories. A true meathead. Now, listen, before you think I'm sitting there talking down on him, that's not true because we're all a bunch of meatheads. In fact, as he said, I showed him how to be a meathead. Is that right, Tommy?
I missed some of what you said there. I lost you for a moment, but I think I'm back.
I was one of the leading instructors in your becoming a meathead.
Oh, you were. You had me under your wing, and it wasn't a pretty place. It kind of stunk under there, but I'll tell you what, we had some fun getting there.
Yeah, we did, brother. We did.
Seriously, Wolf, I know segue into, what we're going to talk about a little bit here, but guys like you and Chaz and Bo and the Mountaineers that came before some of us, and certainly one was Chris Gray, were very influential on me and my career. And, most of it was all very, very positive, very good, both academically and athletically. And, you showed me the ropes, taught me how to be tough, brought me in, and guys like you and Low Styles and Mike Compton and Big John Ray and all those guys. It was a very, very good learning experience. And, I'm just hopeful to pass that on to future Mountaineers.
Yeah, you're so right. And, before we get into anything West Virginia, let's talk about Chris Gray. Was it 22 years ago, 2001?
Yep.
He passed away in one of the towers. It was it Tower 2, wasn't it?
I'm not sure which one, but I know he was right there in harm's way. And it was difficult, very difficult. And he was a good friend to you and a good friend to me and a roommate of mine and Mark Ulmer. We lived together, and just a great, great, great individual. Fun, happy, so funny, and just the life of the party. And he'll be forever missed, not just from me and you, but from many, many Mountaineers and many friends and family that he had in New Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. And his family's come back a few times. When I was with the varsity club, I showed a picture in our preview here of his brother Timmy and all that, and family that came in for the ceremony. And I think WV has always done a good job of remembering Chris and making sure that not only do we remember 911, the terror attack, and all the people that were injured and hurt, but also Chris himself and his family.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he had such an electric personality. Dale, I can remember like it's yesterday. I mean, when he would get in that locker room or in the meeting room and just start busting people's chops. I mean, he was just relentless. And he'd have 90 guys just sitting there holding their stomachs in stitches because he was just so funny. Wasn't he? I mean, he would bust.
Yes.
Remember when he would bust Coach Nealon? He'd come in there. He would put like tinfoil with that crooked finger. Coach Nealon had that messed up finger. And it'd be all crooked out there, and he'd start making fun of Coach Nealon. We just couldn't stop. Then he'd go with Coach Wallace. He'd get Coach Holliday, McMichaels, Jacobs. He'd get them all, and he was just relentless. But it was all in good fun, and that electric personality will be missed for a long, long time.
And I think that's one of the reasons why everybody still remembers him to this day like they do, because he was a brother to the heart, a brother to the soul, man.
Oh, yeah.
And, we call him Skeletor. Because anyone who was out there who knew the He-Man cartoons, all right, he was a thin dude. He had that head and everything. He looked like Skeletor.
He sure did.
And he was never afraid of that nickname either, was he?
No, he was just great. He was just great, and he had fun with it. We tried to bust him back, but as soon as once you get a couple Skeletor digs in there, he'd come right at you and just beat you down, and just cower in the corner. The way he picked on Mark Ulmer, and everybody else. He gave us Indian names. He called Mark Ulmer dumb as log. I was stinks like shit. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Oh, hey, let's talk about your boy now. What's going on with him and his high school year? How's he doing?
You know what? Young Anthony, he is Central Dauphin High School here in Harrisburg, and they had 3 games non-conference season, and they started off with Central York and Wilson West Lawn, and then Coatesville this last week. They lost to Central York, and then they won the last 2 games against Wilson and Coatesville. So they're all 3 top 10 teams in the 6A in the state. So they came out 2-1. So that's pretty good as they go into conference play. But Anthony's doing great. He's healthy, playing both offense and defense, trying to get better each week, stay low, be aggressive, finish to the whistle, all those cliche things that we tell these young guys to do. He's doing that, and he's getting better. So very excited for the rest of his senior year and then his career beyond that.
Yeah, he's committed to Maryland, right?
Yeah, he's committed to Maryland. He's all set.
He's a Terp.
Bittersweet. It's a Terp, and he's going to go in with a great staff and a great program, and I think he's going to be very impactful in the future. However, I'd be remiss if I wasn't a little, heartbroken a little bit that he's not a Mountaineer. But this is his decision. It's not mine. And quite frankly, I don't know. West Virginia probably could have recruited him a little harder, a little better, and maybe things would have been different. But that's here nor there. It's kind of in the past now, so we're just going to keep moving forward.
Well, we're going to keep moving forward. We don't know what the future holds. Nobody does. My shining ball right here, the crystal ball is not telling me it's been quiet for a few years.
Yeah.
So I don't see much going on there. We'll see what happens with that, brother. But hey, regardless, if he ends up as a Terp, man, he's gonna be good. Is he gonna end up as a tackle, guard, or a center?
Probably mostly tackle. They did recruit a whole contingent of a whole new offensive line for the 24 class. Him and a couple guys. There's a kid from Texas, kid from Florida, 3 kids from PA that are all supposed to be on their offensive line. So they're pretty pumped up on this new crew coming in. I'm excited about it. It's the Big Ten is, as you know, college football is getting revamped, but the Big Ten is a great place to be if you're going to be an offensive lineman. Maryland put 3 guys in the NFL this past season on their offensive line.
Ooh.
So, hey, sky's the limit. I told the boy, dream big, work hard, and you never know the length and the stature to make something happen. But the first thing he's got to do is get out of his senior year, healthy, play well, and then go into college and make a splash.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Tom, I would be remiss if I didn't sit there and let you talk about the Pitt, West Virginia backyard brawl and what you expect from this team.
Well, what I liked about West Virginia and Penn State is, especially up front, those fellas, Zach and his buddies, they went in there and they punched. They weren't intimidated. They fought like Mountaineers. And I said it the last time I was on the show, Wolf. We may not have won every game. We won a lot of them. We won most of them. We didn't win them all. But if we didn't win, whoever's on the other side in that locker room, they knew they were in a fist fight and they got punched in the mouth. And they respected us regardless of whether we won or we lost.
Yep.
I think at least the guys up front for Penn State, they knew they were punched. And I think our guys, they outlasted us. Got to give them that. But we punched them and we fought with them. And I think up front we played very respectably. So that's a good thing. So if we take that attitude into Pitt, I think we can punch with anybody. I think our guys up front are pretty good. If you could control the ball, shorten the game, limit possessions, get first downs. If you got to punt, it's not the end of the world. Punt, so you don't turn the ball over. Don't make stupid mistakes. Don't make 2nd and 4 turn into 2nd and 14 with a holding call. You do those types of things and you get yourself into the 3rd and 4th quarter with a team, and all of a sudden you believe you can win. And when you believe you can win and your brothers believe you can win, then you can win. So shorten the game, grind it out, call a good solid game, protect the ball, and I think we'll be okay.
And get some turnovers. Not give up. Get some turnovers. All right, TR, man. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to give up on Anthony, man. I still see him as a Mountaineer eventually one day. You never know. It's a crazy world out there. But
it's a crazy world.
If he's a Terp, I'll be the first one to support him as a Terp, brother. All right?
I appreciate you, Dale. I appreciate everything you do.
You got it, brother. Take care. God bless.
Thank you.
About Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, everybody. That is Tommy Robsock. And you had the whole crew here. You had the Fabulous Five. You had Al Johnson, USA Strength and Conditioning Hall of Fame coach. We had Hawkeye in there, Mr. Referee, who knows the rules. I keep him around so he knows the rules. And then, of course, you have, you got Frank Fear, author, historian, and he's got a big event coming out on, this Saturday or Friday. I forgot about it. And we'll have to actually have him on tomorrow as well to put that up. And then what else do we have? We had Lee Javins, former Mountaineer linebacker, and Darryl Prue, WVU Hoops Hall of Fame. What a day it's been. So should we go ahead? Should we start to break down any film? Should we go ahead and do it, or should I wait till tomorrow? I don't know. Let's get a taste of it. Why not? Let's get the stuff that at the beginning, and then we'll get to the other stuff afterwards on there. Let's go ahead and look at some film, and we'll talk about it and figure out what's going on. I forgot the one thing I did forget though, and that was, of course, going ahead and looking at the things I said. Well, maybe I'll set that up for tomorrow. I think we might have some things. I'm going to have Talk Is Pit is on there, and go ahead and we'll feature some of that as well for tomorrow. talk about what Pitt is doing and what they think about it and where they're at in their game and all that stuff. I'll tell you, I had fun though. I did enjoy myself when I went ahead and had those out there, those tweeting wars and thinking about it. I don't know. What do you got to say here? Anything, Timothy, you want to say? We got anybody left out there that wants to come on? I put out the link already. If you want to come on, you come on. I'm going to wait for this game film here to drop. It's going to take a minute or two, so we're going to find out what's going on with that. Anyone else? Anyone else got something going on here? Anyone else got anything for the cause? What do you got to say about Pitt? What about Pitt? What do you got there? Now I'll tell you, I would love to get Anthony there. I see it, Timothy, right here, this question. And he's got, with times there anyway, get a young man to Morgantown. You know, Anthony is they tried to get recruited by WVU. Neal ultimately and Moore ultimately did not recruit him the way that he should have been recruited, and Maryland jumped on him really fast. You know, that's like you go back to Dylan Ray. There's two players that are the sons of the legacies. Their father, Johnny Ray, Tommy Robsock. You know, Robsock played for the Raiders. Johnny Ray played for the Colts, man. You know, those are kids that Dylan Ray started for Kentucky this past week. And I'm not sure if he's going to continue to start. He's in the mix. He's a guy that's rotating in. He may be, who knows? But he's just a redshirt sophomore. He's a redshirt freshman last year, so now he's a redshirt sophomore. He's got 3 years, including this one. And not only did they give him a scholarship, but they went ahead and now he's starting. And it was and I watched him. Just watched him. Let's see, what's this? Let me see. Daryl Yater. I don't know. Well, I just feel like if they gave you more respect, the team would be headed the right way. Not sure what you mean. If they gave me respect there or what. I'm not sure, but that's all right. That's go ahead. We can go ahead and explain that, Daryl, if you'd like. Not sure about the respect, but I will say this is that, you know, the Mountaineer Pitt backyard brawl, man, that's tough as nails. That, you know, I think last year when you saw that Pitt, let me play this again just so I can show you. That just came down, but let me just do this one more time just because I want to. And I think it's important. And when you look at here, and I'll move it up past this here. Check this out right here, man. This is a bunch of crap right here. Look at that. Look at Pitt chasing the Mountaineers back after they were lucky enough to win that game, because that could have gone either way. But that's something to remember. And I don't care. Pitt, you want to do that? That's fine. These are big boys. They can all go ahead and take care of themselves. But our guys need to remember this. Need to remember this right here, right? And run their mouths and all that. Well, now's a good time to punch them. Now's a good time to punch them right in the mouth. And I think that's an excellent opportunity to do so. So that being said, let's go ahead and break down this film here. Let's get it up. Here we go. We start off here. And there we go. All right. Let's look at this. This is the beginning, and I'm just going to go run through this here and go through this. You're going to see here, you got 11 personnel. You have 3 receivers and a tight end. And go ahead and look at the defense. Now, look at this. This is cover 4 defense here, right? Cover 4. There's quarters here. Quarters, and quarters. Now, look at this. He's up here challenging, all right? Starting off the game. Challenging. I like that. Nothing wrong with that. You got 5 yards, 6 yards right here in between. There you go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, this is right here, running. It's quarters. It's cover 4. He's going to get the pass. He gets pressure coming right off the bat. Paradis, whatever his name was. And you're going to see. Now they're going ahead. They're rolling the pocket. I love this roll in the pocket, especially if you're worried about a pass rush going through, as you can see right here with Lockhart coming through. Well, I'll tell you, Lockhart making a big difference. And then you have Trey Lathan coming through there. So that is pretty strong. I like the start. A nice start on the first play of the defense, putting pressure on the quarterback, getting a hit on him right off the bat. Good start defense. I like the corners right here. You see it? I tell you, this young man, he's gonna be good. He's gonna make some mistakes. He's a freshman. He's gonna make mistakes, but yeah, all right. He's already been through a big game, right? When you sit there and think about Penn State. Yeah. All right. So now you're dealing with what, 2nd down and 10, and you're gonna do the inside zone right here is what I think what I saw. And Big Lockhart making a step. I'll tell you, he's playing big in the middle. They got the 3-man right now. There's like 4 in the box, maybe 5 splitting it. But I like this because that's Sean Martin right there coming down. He checked the quarterback on the zone read, and then he went down to the running back. Big Lockhart was in the middle, making some stops there. Let's watch it. Not bad, not bad. See, that's the thing right there. Okay, you see Big Lockhart and Sean Martin there. Now, what they did was they tried to block Big Lockhart right there with one guy, and they couldn't do it with one guy. That's really good for a nose guard. You have to have 2 guys blocking. If your nose guard and your defense is going to be anything successful, multiple times you have to have some type of combo block on a nose guard to be that anchor in the middle, especially if he's going to be a head-up, zero type technique. Good job right there. That's good. That's what you want, and he beat it. So now it's 3rd and 8 right here. I don't know why I wrote that in there. You can see it right in the box. 3rd and 8. Oh, I don't like this. Look at this. All right, let's go ahead. We'll see it here. That's way too much distance. It's 3rd and 8. Know you're down and distance, right? What do you see here? Right here. Look at this here. Now, they're playing quarters again, so you have a quarter here. There's no doubt if he runs by you, you're in trouble. You don't have a safety over top help if he's going to go do a vertical on you, right? There's no doubt about it. But you go there, he's just turning his hips, opening right up, and now he turns. Now you got to react. You got to snap those hips, man. That's why you're a corner. That's why you play the position, right? So be able to snap back. That's too much room you're giving them. I don't care. 3rd and 8, and you're giving that type of thing. I mean, they would just do that all day long. Then, if you're going to do that, come on, man. You gotta snap to that. That's why you're a corner. You can do it. It's too much room. You can't give that much room to that guy, and you're going to see it over and over until they do it. All right. So now you're looking at this. I'm seeing 4 guys here, defensive line, and he hands the ball off. This is the transfer from Missouri. So he came down here, right here. This is not a bad job on the offense. Now look at Lockhart right here now. So he's got good arm extension right there. You see him, and you see here, there's a big gap right here. Look at the linebacker. That's going to be Koba right there, I believe. So they have Koba here and here. Okay, you're running. You got these 2 blocked here, and you got an offensive lineman coming through here. You got to have Koba here to fill this gap over here. He can't be on the other side of the nose guard. You see him get caught up in the nose guard. Gets easy block by the guard coming around because he gets stuck behind the nose. You gotta know which side you gotta be on. And when you see that pull, you're reading the backside guard pulling, so you should be able to know that you're gonna need to meet him on the front side. Okay, again, let's take a look. There's 3, 4 guys. Now you can say JB's Bartlett down there, number 10, is in the box, but he's a wide outside the box. You're really looking at 4 dudes here, the circle being in the box. So now you're going ahead, and when Lee Koba sees this left tackle pulls, right, he's got to be thinking it's coming to the other side. You can't be right up his back. You can't play up the back of your nose guard. You got to be able to fill here. And what happens is he sneaks around on him, and it's hard for him to see because he's playing right up in the butt of the nose guard. You got to be on the other side, man. You got to cover it. And that's the problem when you're going with 3 dudes because you got Jared Bartlett out down there, but he's no factor in this play. No factor whatsoever. And so you go ahead and you got the secondary is going to make the tackle. That's a good play. That's why I don't like 4 guys in the box. It was 5, but he was a wide 5. Wide 5. All right, here we go. What do we got here? So 2nd and 3. That was a 7-yard game. You know, I actually like this. I like the way the scheme is of the offensive line. But you can see right here, the defense is now falling forward, and they're jamming up here. This is not bad. All right, they're pulling 3 guys. I thought the defense recognized this fairly well. They came at him in a good way, good positioning. You can see here, there's a back block from the center. The right guard, the right tackle is pulling. Right here, they're getting up. They need to actually attack more on the defense. The defense get attacking there. Instead, the offense should have done more attacking. But again, all right, not bad, but he does get the first down, I believe. So that's 2 yards, 2 rushes for 10 yards, and it is a first down. So let's watch this. And right there, oh, I like this. Seek and destroy. Seek and destroy, right? There you go. There's it, Aubrey Burks. There you go. Seek and destroy. Look where he's at. See the circle? Right there. Yeah, he's right there. And he recognized it. They go into cover 3, the defense. They showed cover 4. Do you see how they showed 2 safeties, kind of either cover 2 shell or cover 4? But what they do is, at the snap, they went ahead and changed it into cover 3. And here comes him at support. Seek and destroy. I love it, love it, love it, love it. That's what we're looking for from him. That play recognition. And didn't have a chance, did he? Didn't have a chance. Oh, because here he comes. Seek and destroy. All right. Well, I guess it looks so good I had to keep doing it. I love highlights. Excuse me. All right. So now we have, look at here, basically 4-man, 6 men in the box right here. You have what? You have 11 personnel. You have 1 tight end up at the top, tight bunch or a tight group here. And you can see quarterback up, touchdown, right? All right, you're going to be able to see on this. And this is a problem. Okay, now listen, he's not bad at he's 5 yards off right here. That's not bad. But watch how he bails out. Watch the player that bails out. That's not even an actual player. I'm sorry. That was the wrong guy. You're going to have to watch a side view here, but you're going to see the cornerback. And, okay, right there. Now you see it. He's still about 6-7 yards. Not awful, but watch the bail. This is what they keep doing. He drifts, and he's got his back to him. He's not even, checking him in a body way. Where's your zone? If this dude's in your zone, you got to treat him more like manish coverage, right? He's coming right up your back. You better know where he's at. And right here, you're just drifting and not even really paying attention. That guy's in your zone. That's what I'm talking about. In zone coverage, you have to treat it like it's man when the opponent comes in your zone. When an opponent comes in your zone, you have to treat it as such. Thus, you have the big gap and the touchdown. You can see it. You can see he's looking at the quarterback the whole way. He doesn't even look at the defender until the 10-yard line right there. Doesn't even know where the defender is until the 10-yard line. It's not a good play. Got to get better. Got to do better right there. I'm sure that they'll coach him up in that, and they know they need to get better, or Pitt's going to take advantage of that. You can't play cornerback that way. Cannot do it. All right, so that's a touchdown. Move on here. Now, get to this offense here. Look at this. Start off with 12 personnel, right? WVU, 12 personnel. You got to like it. We got the 2 tight ends. We'll see what happens to come up here. And start off with the zone run. Not bad. All right, C.J. Donaldson, I believe, is right there coming in. We got to bring them down here in motion. Do a little bit of a bunch right there, okay. That's Nick Malone in there as a tight end instead of I believe, I'm pretty sure that's him. And you see this here. I like the fact that they came out under center. Oh, excuse me. I like the center spot. And I think that's quarterback center. That shotgun is good. I like changing up. I like to see him change up more in the Penn State game. Easy to do here. Pressure's not on, but again, you get this right there. And CJ, sometimes, he's creeping, he's crawling, he's big, he's got to get it. I like to see him explode into that hole. Explode in there. Once he makes his decision, then explode, right? Not bad. Now, this is not bad here because I think this was a screenplay, and I think that Gigi saw it that way. I could be wrong. I don't know about this, but I think he just pulled it. I think he did it on his own because I think that was the play. I think the way they reacted to it, and I think he just sensed right there. I think he saw the defenders coming through and how they defended it. And I think this is a heads-up play, smart, gets the first down. I think it's a good job. Garrett Green, not bad. We're going to see the same thing again in slow motion, but you could see that it was tough right there. And it's good. Maybe someone will ask him one day. I don't know. All right. There you go. All right. Again, 1st and 10. What do you see? I see inaccuracy. Look at his footwork. Do you see his footwork? Golly, he doesn't get time. He's throwing the ball while he's trying to set his feet. And we'll watch it on the next play here. But watch his footwork right here. Here, right there. Now watch. See, he's already in his motion before he even plants the front foot down. You plant the back and then the front, but it's already going. So his feet are not there. His hips are probably in the right direction. Again, I think that's an issue with his accuracy, right? So get that footwork down. I think, he's got it for one of the big balls, right? The big balls, throw the deep balls, right? Well, this is right here, I think, great opportunity for him to go ahead and showcase it. 2nd and 10, go back to the run. Now, this is obviously a nice job by the defender coming around on the split zone. I believe this is a split zone. The tight end's going to go across there in 11 personnel. Yep, there goes tight end. It's a split zone right there. He's kicking out, trying to kick out. And basically, a little more push. Maybe Lee Javins talking here about a little more push to come off and be a little nastier as an offensive line. Not too bad, though. I can't argue that one. Zach Frazier's looking pretty strong right there. 3rd and 7 now. So 3rd and 7, you against Pitt, you're going to have to really reduce these 3rd and 7s. 3rd and long is not ideal for the Mountaineers, not yet in their passing game. Not yet. They are not there yet. And whether it be Garrett Green or receivers or whatever, they are not there yet. Watch. Okay, now, Corey Brand, right? I mean, you got to catch this, man. I mean, you can say all you want about Garrett Green, his accuracy, his percentages below. Well, this doesn't help. All right, so receiver, come on, man. It's game 2. You need to go ahead and start making the receptions now. It's year 2 for you. Game 2, year 2. Time to put together. You got the talent. You got the speed. Let's go, man. It's time. People are calling. On the punt here, I like this. I just want to point out about Oliver Straw is that he's a good punter, man. And this is going to help the team this year a lot. Regardless, he took the hit. But that pinning down inside the 10-yard line, I think Oliver Straw is going to have a strong year. Oliver Straw, strong. There you go. And that's it. All right. So I'll cut it off there. I showed you a series on each, and we'll get more tomorrow. We'll get rid of this tomorrow and do that. Do we have anyone else that wants to say something here? Let's go Mountaineers and beat Pitt. All right. Let's see. We're going to beat Pitt. All right. I feel like they gave you more 17 would be headed really. All right. There you go. I guess that's all good, man. We'll go LFG. You like 5. There we go. So we're going to be out of here. Let me do this real quick. The voice is starting to go bad again. So we'll go ahead and jump down into here and set this up. So, and the network. Yep, got time for the network, my friends. You know what that means. That means get it over here so you can see it. All right, Cantrell's River City Grill and Pub right there in Hinton, West Virginia. Thank you so much. The WolfMan's Call Network. Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar down in Beckley, West Virginia. Yeah, right on, man. Route 22 Sports Bar, Weirton, West Virginia. Route 22, digging it. Archies up there in the Evil Empire. There you go. East Carson Street, love the wings. Legends Sports Bar and Grill out of Cheat Lake. Danny's right there out of Princeton, West Virginia. Kegler's, Morgantown, Royalty, right? Very good. Love you guys down there. And, of course, you got Jimbo's Place in Elkins and Buckhannon, Jimmy Pointer. Love the food there. You have, what we got here? The Mason Jar Barbecue and More. Steve Reese, Unbutton Those Britches. Brickside Bar and Grill in Bridgeport, West Virginia. And you have the Mountaineer Tap House, the Mel right there in Morgantown. The Pallet down in Taze Valley and Scott Depot, and you got the Pitch Sports Bar and Grill in Dunbar, West Virginia. And now you got used to be the Mason Jar Saloon. Now it's the Jar, right there, the Jar. And it's right there taking over. They're going to do a great job and great food. So we shout out to everybody there. And since nobody else jumped on, I'm going to say thank you for today. It was good. You saw the first series of WVU. We're going to do more film breakdown. I'm going to show it to you, show you the team, show you what they did good, show you what they need to do better to beat Pitt, because we have to go ahead and beat Pitt. You know why we're going to beat Pitt? Because Zach Frazier says we're going to beat Pitt.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs. Have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy. Stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.